Welcome to Inside the Force. I'm Greg Grunberg, a.k.a. Snap Wexley.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, Dave Cottingham back at it with Casey Cooley.
Hello everybody.
What I mean by that is it's been a couple weeks, right?
Yes.
Some great things happening, incredible things to talk about. We were off a little week just because I was on vacay.
You were in the homeland.
I was in the homeland,
so
though.
to speak.
I was in the
You're
homeland.
on planet.
Yeah. Had my trip to Disney World last week. So I do want to briefly talk about that because
let's just go. Let's just do it.
let's just do it because it's it has become more Star Wars friendly, I guess, in a sense, especially Hollywood
yeah.
Studios, obviously, right?
Yes, absolutely.
People that aren't familiar with it yet, obviously, I mean, everybody knows that they own Star Wars, but Hollywood Studios is where they're really focusing all of the attention of Star Wars onto, right? So, of course, Disney is just incredible. I mean, I went last year. I'm pretty sure I talked about it on the show last year, and I was so impressed with just the machine of what I call it a machine, like because it's so methodical and so almost like I want to say militarized.
Militaristic?
In
the
a s-
ride?
Huh?
Talking about the ride?
No, I'm talking about just the way things go. Like
Okay.
you have times, like military, it's like you show up at a time and like everything is planned. Like
Yeah.
your breakfast has a time,
Yeah.
the rides have a time, seeing this person has a time. I mean, it's just your whole day is planned.
Regimented.
It's not like you go and just enjoy yourself, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you are working.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely, like, if you want
But I think to me-
if you want to book your dinners, if you want to get the fast passes.
But
yeah.
to me, that's the only way to do it.
That's
Because
the true immersive way, yeah.
Because like, for example, Space Mountain,
Yeah.
me and Sam had a fast pass. We walked in, scanned our bands. Within 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes, we rode the ride. The wait was 60 minutes, an hour.
Yeah.
I mean,
You scheduled the fast pass.
because it's scheduled the fast pass.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, though. If you don't do those things in like dinner,
Yeah.
like if you don't get a reservation, you're not eating at certain places. You're pretty much eating the fast places.
Yeah.
You can't get a dining, right?
Right, yeah. If you want to maximize
So if you
your
want
time
to experience
as much
the
as
best
possible,
places
yeah.
and to do all the rides, you
Yeah.
have to do it that way. I mean, there's no way around it.
No, that's a blast.
And it's awesome, but that's what I mean by it. They have it so figured out. Disney does, with the bands and with how you just go, the way you can plan things like that. To me, just because obviously before you just showed up and you just got in the line and rode something, and
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the fast passes, they've changed that within the past few years too.
yes, oh, absolutely,
It was always paper tickets.
correct. Now it's part of your band.
They can like
You
actually
can just ding and
pre
walk right
sort
in.
of in quotes pre-order in
That's
a way. Like you just
pre-order your ride.
You look up the fast pass times and you're like, okay, I'll do that one, and that one. And
That's
then
right.
It's programmed to your band or your card.
Yeah, but you have to pay for the ability to do it, though,
Yeah.
obviously. But so anyway, I'm last year was experiencing that for the first time and learning it. This year was obviously we knew what we were doing, so we just planned it. We knew what restaurants we wanted to hit. We knew which ones we wanted to try. The rides, unfortunately, Big Thunder Mountain was closed for renovation, so we couldn't ride that. So all we rode was Space Mountain, and Obviously, there's other rides we rode. But anyway, last year in Hollywood Studios, there was a thing called the Star Wars Launch Bay that was under construction. It was opening December of last year, right around when Episode 7 came out. So that was a big item on my list. I was like, I got to go see that. Obviously, I was going to ride Star Tours again because they had Force Awakens parts in it this time.
Yeah.
So we go back to Hollywood Studios. We go back the day we get there. So we get there on Thursday, the 29th. We go in. We go straight to Hollywood Studios. So right away, I'm going to the launch bay. Let me just tell you, I just walked in a little bit of it. I couldn't. There's two parts to it. You walk in. There's actually like a restaurant in there, and it's where you can see Chewbacca and see Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of a museum area where there's just like a ton of stuff, and there's obviously a shop in there. We went into the back entrance, the side entrance, which is right into the shop. So we looked at, and I think I showed you some pictures of like some statues. I mean, you can buy all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah.
So anyway, we did a couple things, did Star Tours, but the biggest thing that night, and if anybody wants to go to my Facebook page, DCottingham21, I live streamed the Star Wars extravaganza. Did you see it?
I saw some of it. I was busy that night, but yeah, I saw some of it.
Holy! I had seen it on someone's Facebook Live, I guess, before I went. But Jeb, our buddy Jeb, he was like, "You need to live stream this thing. I need to see this thing." So, because I wasn't even thinking about doing that, I was like, "All right." So I just held my phone up, and I'm telling you, that show was the best thing I've seen in person, because it was probably a good 7-8 minutes, and the way they projected it onto the walls, and then it literally teared me up because it was no really. I had a hard time seeing. There wasn't really a story being told. It was just images and music and fireworks, and it was just fantastic. I mean, so anyway, so that's the first night. Then we went back a week later, Wednesday, the following week. The day before I left, to really do the whole park. Got to go through the launch bay fully. Saw Chewbacca, took pictures with him. Saw Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren was interesting because he like paced around the room. Yeah. He didn't hardly talk.
Brooke said, I think he scared her or something.
Yeah, she was a little freaked out by him. But the coolest thing was they had a little cantina area.
Yeah.
Where these freaking Jawas were walking around, and you can trade with them.
Yeah.
Like they have little pouches, and Sam was bringing them all kinds of stuff, and he wouldn't trade with her. They're very particular on what they trade. So it was pretty cool. But they had all these little, just these statues and these models and lightsabers and cases and stuff like that. I can just hang out in there forever.
Yeah, I bet.
But one thing I do want to say, if anybody's going there or has been there, I was really surprised. Over by Star Tours, there's a little theater there, and it had a little thing on the sign that says Star Wars Path of the Jedi. And I read the description. It was just like, watch a little movie about the journey of Luke Skywalker. And I was like, I know the journey of Luke Skywalker. I don't need to see that. Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, the guy, we went with another family, and the guy was like, "Hey, I want to check this out. Do you want to go?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll go." So we go in this thing, and literally it's just a little theater. Probably seats about 200-300 people or whatever. And did you look it up when I told you to look?
I looked up. Is this in Hollywood Studios still?
Hollywood Studios.
Okay. I wonder if they took over Phantasmic.
Now, I think Phantasmic. No,
I'm in Philhar Magic. Sorry, Philhar Magic. An old place like that.
Now, Path of the Jedi. Now, people, I for some reason, I want to say that it was there last year because I think I remember seeing it, the sign, but I never went in and saw it. because this one is new because it's obviously it has Force Awakens footage in it.
Mm-hmm.
But so we sit down and it is literally about a 10-minute movie. Now, if you Google it on YouTube or if you YouTube it, you can see a bootleg version. Someone's recording it, which I highly suggest because honestly, I literally cried during this thing. And what it is literally the story of Luke Skywalker told through simply the movies. There's no narration. It is dialogue in the movies, and it's told of his story and kind of Anakin's story because it's really neat because it talks about it. There's parts of it where Obi-Wan is like, "I knew your father. Your father was already a great pilot," and it showed him as little Anakin, flying around. It's just it connected the trilogies better than I've seen in any other video. Any other time. And at the end, obviously, it fast forwards and talks about Han's on the Falcon. Like some say he went to look for the first Jedi Temple, and anyway. I totally suggest everybody go check that out because it's awesome. Anyway, that's my Disney story.
Super awesome.
Awesome. Got on the last flight out before the hurricane came, even though it didn't really hit Orlando. But no, we were told. I probed a couple workers that so Star Wars Land, whatever that spaceport they're planning on building. I don't know if there's a name yet. It's being built at Hollywood Studios, and it's apparently going to be open the summer of 2018.
Sweet.
So I don't know if that's inside information because I haven't heard anywhere where they're talking about that.
Yeah,
but they're saying summer 2018 you're going to be able to go to Star Wars Land there. So, but they did have a part of the park closed off, so you couldn't see what was going on back there. And all. I mean, it's just it's going to be incredible. Anyway, all right. So, I just the whole Disney, just the whole Disney. I truly, we talked about. I did want to mention this real fast because I was, we were. Me and my wife, the kids fell asleep at this point, but we were because we were really late and we were watching the fireworks and we were walking back to the monorail. And I just, I always say, and we talk about this a lot, but we always talk about how it's hard to imagine the world if Star Wars never existed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to be honest, we could have the movie Star Wars, but what if it tanked? Right?
Yeah.
What if no one liked it? What if everybody said, "Oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen"? And there was no Empire Strikes Back, and George Lucas moved on to something else, right?
Wow.
When I left Disney again this time, more so than last year, I told my wife, I was like, I talk about Star Wars a lot being such a huge influence around the world and around people, and it's just growing. It's grown and all that stuff. But I thought, God, what would the world be like if Disney wasn't? Mm-hmm. Like if Walt Disney didn't have that dream of a park like this, because in the end, especially when you go to Disney and you understand the values that it contains and how precise and systematic and family oriented, and because each one of those workers there, it's amazing. Each one of those workers understand the culture of Disney so much so that you know how they're trained to point with two fingers. Do you know about that?
I think so.
Because Walt said you never should use one finger to point, right? So every worker, when you go ask directions or something like that,
cast member.
Every cast member, they point with two, and I catch myself seeing if anybody messes up.
Yeah.
And sure, they never do. I'm telling you, they always.
Yeah. Well, that's
and
pretty strict.
It's very strict.
Even facial hairs, they can do mustaches, but no goatees, no beards.
Correct. There's a light at Disneyland in a way. There's where Walt had his office. They keep the light on. I don't know if you knew that either.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's just a lot of tradition and a lot of stuff that they keep, right? Well, when you think about it, that's what you want in Star Wars, right? I mean, you want the continuity and the passion and the people to be involved to keep the legacy going, because that's what Disney is keeping the legacy of Walt Disney going, right? There's no better place that Star Wars could have ended up, truly. I mean, there's no better place. If a studio would have bought Star Wars or something like that, if it just sold like Paramount or even Spielberg, if it would have sold to DreamWorks, it would have been like, it would not have been the same.
Right.
And I know there's some people out there still that are like, Disney, sell out, and all this stuff, but there's no way that Star Wars could become what we all know it's going to become, which is just a worldwide culture, even though it kind of was, but just on a much grander scale now,
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be not just at Orlando, but obviously it's going to be at every park that Disney has, right? So it's in China and Europe and California and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. It's just truly, it was just a really good refreshment of knowing that it's true. It's just in good hands with Disney. I mean, it really is.
Absolutely.
And it fits perfectly. It's as if it's as if Lucas was working for them the whole time, to be honest, so, that's my Disney story. Anyway, I will say I was a little disappointed in the merchandise.
They didn't have very much.
Because I got some. I grabbed like 3 awesome shirts there last year, and I could not find a good shirt there this year. The only one I found was there was text on a black shirt with white text that said, "The Force is strong in my family," which is pretty cool, and it had the Star Wars logo on the back.
Yeah.
That's the only one I found that I really liked. I did end up buying a Rogue One shirt just because I want to wear it for the movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bluish, and it just says Star Wars Rogue One on it. So I was, but last year I think I found 4 shirts there that, and then Force Friday last year was around the same time where way more stuff came out. This year it just felt like there's a lot of Rogue One toys, but
yeah, the Force Friday thing I feel like kind of fell through this year.
I totally agree. They didn't really call it Force Friday.
No, they didn't market it.
Yeah, they didn't. So, yeah, I did find a good hat. I did find a good hat that I liked. It's got the Jedi symbol on it.
That's cool.
But again, I was disappointed in hats because I really wanted like a couple hats. But
yeah.
Anyway, everything I'm saying you can buy on like DisneyStore.com or something like that. So, all right. So let's stop spending time on that and move on to some news. Case before we get into the big announcements.
Yeah.
What we got on our
episode 8 stuff. Very quiet. Nothing really going on with episode 8.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. I was trying to look through some Han Solo stuff, and the only other thing is, there's some interviews with the filmmakers about the audition process of Alden Ehrenreich, and just how he's just perfect for the role. So still very interested to see what they'll do with that. I'll kind of hit on something else too before we get to the big stuff. Video games. A couple things with video games. There was a new trailer for the Battlefront game, the X-Wing VR game that PlayStation's putting out with their PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
New trailer for that's pretty cool. I don't remember the date for it, but it's coming soon. Is it this? I don't think it's this year. I think it's sometime next year, but could be wrong with that. I should know that. Looks awesome. Looks amazing. I don't have a PlayStation, so I probably won't be playing it unless we get it for a computer or something like that. But I hope I can play it somehow.
Well, so Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a brief article about it, but I think at E3, I guess. When is E3? Is E3 early in the year?
It's later in the year, I think. I don't know.
Whatever the big next
I think
convention is.
D23, I think.
D23 is Disney, though, right?
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of.
Xbox is announcing, I think it's called Xbox Spectrum.
Is that their VR?
Scorpio. Xbox Scorpio. So Xbox Scorpio is their console that they're going to be releasing next year. I think a holiday of 2017 is what I read.
It's a new Xbox.
It's their next generation Xbox.
Huh, okay.
So
Jeez.
Xbox. So they had Xbox, then the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Now the Xbox Scorpio. Scorpio is a full 4K gaming system, fully VR capable. So that, because they're releasing, the controllers that would come with it, and apparently the goggles
With the system?
with the well, you can buy it with the system, like you could like Kinect or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but apparently they are rumored to be, because no one's seen it yet, and the first, I think it might be E3. I guess I'll see when E3 is, but I think it's E3 that they're going to
Announce it, show it off.
show it off and show some actual gameplay. E3 is June. Is it in June? So I don't know if they're going to wait till. I guess they probably will wait till mid-June.
Yeah.
It's for a holiday release. But apparently, the rumors are that this thing is like, just ridiculous.
Jeez, they just come out with the Xbox One, I feel like.
They
got one.
They did like 2 years ago, or
2 years ago?
maybe it was last year.
I got one last Christmas, dang it.
You got one last Christmas?
Xbox One last Christmas.
I think it came out sometime early last year or the year before. 2 years. I just got mine too when Battlefront came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that last year? That was last November. Wasn't it last November?
Maybe I got mine early.
Because it was right before Episode 7 came out.
Yeah, maybe I got mine right when Arkham Knight came out, so I guess maybe I got
You got
mine
it earlier then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got mine right when Battlefront came out. And then, they just released the Xbox One S, which is the white. It's white.
Yeah.
New processor and thinner and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's like, anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is I don't know if they're going to continue the Xbox One line or if this is just a secondary one or this is actually replacing. I don't know. It's very under wraps anyway. We're kind of going too far on it, but that's the VR. You're going to be able to do VR on that.
Sweet.
But we have to wait a year.
And I'm sure it's a fortune. Anywho, another video game that sure to look out for, although it is technically Legends, is the Star Wars The Old Republic
Yes.
game that's been out for a while. But there's a new expansion, or I guess you can call it expansion. It's coming out. And the trailer was just released October 6th.
It's the cinematic. You're talking
the
about the
cinematic trailer for
incredible.
Star Wars The Old Republic Knights of the Eternal Throne.
Yes.
It looks awesome, as have all the other cinematic trailers this game's produced.
I know.
I don't play the game because it's PC based, and I can't do that. And also, you don't have to pay for it now. They've made it to where you can do free. You can play for free up to a certain point. But this kind of a thing, this little expansion missions, is you have to pay for it. But it looks incredible. I once again just wish they would make a movie with this kind of stuff because that's perfect. It looks awesome. So if you haven't seen this trailer, go look it up on Star Wars' YouTube page. Star Wars: The Old Republic, Knights of the Eternal Throne. It's awesome. I want to read about this story if I can't play it or something.
Yeah, and again, that series it's pretty incredible that because that series is technically the only non-canon
game right now.
Legends material, period.
Yeah.
That they are still continuing.
Yeah.
You know, they're not releasing novels anymore that are Legends. They're not doing any other games besides that. Everything else is story group based. That one is not. And which is funny because you know that they've mentioned how that Rebels is starting to possibly bring in some. They're not. It's not canonizing those games at all, but it's bringing some elements from it. Like Malachor was a planet in the Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, I remember that.
Malachor 4.
Yeah.
And the whole Sith temple on there, and the war that happened, the battle that happened outside of that was in the game, even though it was between more.
It was referenced in the game, yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't Sith and Jedi though. It was Sith and some creatures or something like that. At least that's what I read because I never read the game. But
the game.
So it was harkened back. It wasn't. So it didn't really canonize it, but it's just like anything. It's borrowing stuff from it. So
yeah, the plan didn't look like that really.
No.
So that would be cool. They brought in Revan, Malik, all those people. Darth Sion, Darth Nihilus, all those characters. It would be tremendous.
Well, yeah, and
although they would be dead. So somehow if they brought them in.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's so. I mean, Knights of the Old Republic took place 3,000 years before Episode 1. So it's like you could easily make that stuff canon.
Just say it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It is.
Although you're starting to maybe, if you're borrowing stuff from it, it's hard to, because if it's not, I mean, technically Malachor 4 could be something else still versus Malachor that's on.
That's true.
But yeah, I'd hope that, I don't know if we'll ever, that's the thing is I don't know if we'll ever actually get to that era.
Well, it just depends on what they'll do after these movies they've already slotted. Which direction they'll go. They'll just keep going forward and then sprinkle between the movies, or
will they ever go that far back? I don't know.
Way forward.
Because that trailer that you're talking about, like that, so you have Knights of the Old Republic, and then you have just the Old Republic, right?
Which is after Knights of the
It's
Republic.
300 years later.
Yeah, it's still a sequel in the same universe.
That's right. So it's around that same time frame. But it makes it does make you wonder, like, God, that's crazy. 3,000 years of, there's so much in between.
Yeah.
I mean, so much in between. To even get to the point where you even have, I mean, that's 2,000 years for Yoda's even around.
For Maz.
But yeah, I mean, all that. Yeah. So, all right. So, what else we got? The
Comics. Some comics news. If you watch the Star Wars show, they kind of revealed this.
Well, Darth Vader's coming to an end.
Coming to an end.
It came out end today, actually.
Yeah. So a new series they're going to be starting soon. I think this was the one that was kind of kept under the classified series that was being kept under wraps. It is now a solo series, I guess you call it, of Dr. Aphra.
Yeah.
And
it's an ongoing, it sounds like. It's ongoing.
Surprising. She is a cool character. I haven't read all Darth Vader stuff after Vader Down, but I definitely liked her character. She was pretty cool. So I'm excited to see it. And you have 000 and the Astromech. Enjoy those two crazy characters, and Black Chrysanthemum will be in there as well. It looks to be cool.
Does look to be cool.
I'm sure it'll do very well.
Yes. Another publishing news, Star Wars Ahsoka hit shelves this past Tuesday. I actually went to the bookstore looking for it. I didn't see it. So I'm probably just going to order it online. But I bought my first audiobook.
Ooh, your
right?
first one, yeah.
And I'm listening to
Ahsoka, yeah.
Ahsoka. about Star Wars Ahsoka because for one, I was excited because I heard Ashley Eckstein. Mm-hmm. She was on the Star Wars show. She narrated it. Now, those of you that are listening, I'm sure most of you maybe have experienced a Star Wars audiobook. I don't know. But so I'm playing it to and from driving to work, right? Because I got about 20, 25 minute commute. Mm-hmm. So I'm about 6 chapters in now, but I'm stoked because there's like a lot of sound effects and music. And I'm like, wow, this is like a radio drama.
Exactly, yeah.
It's not like just someone reading a book to you.
Yeah.
It's like it's a radio drama.
Try to make it as immersive as possible.
Exactly. I mean, it starts off with this John Williams Star Wars music, like, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And then like that, I made you listen to the prologue.
Yeah.
How when she starts talking about the Force and it's like Binary Sunset comes in, I'm like, whoa, man, this is pretty cool. So I know I'm six chapters in, and I'm. I mean, I don't want to say I love it. I do like it a lot. I'm pretty sure it's going to get a lot better because right now there's establishing a lot of characters and stuff like that, and what a novel does.
Yeah,
but the prologue was intense.
Yeah,
and
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and we've talked about it on here. This is. I'm curious because right now there hasn't really been a flashback.
Yeah.
Because I'll say this without giving it away, but it takes place. The first chapter takes place 1 year after. I wouldn't say Order 66 unless it's right around that time, but it's 1 year after Empire Day because it's the Empire Day first anniversary of Empire Day. Mm-hmm. So, because I'm assuming Order 66 took place just a little bit before, right? Did it?
Empire Day? I think it was the same night.
Is it the same day?
I'm thinking it's the same
that happened?
Night. Yeah.
I guess it is the same day. Because he goes and
takes out the Jedi.
So he takes out the Jedi the same time that he declares himself emperor? Or is it like a day later?
It might be the next morning.
Yeah, I think it's around.
Because when Yoda and Obi-Wan come back, it's daylight. When they come back and infiltrate the temple.
And that's when it's happening.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. You're right. So it's the next day. So it's a day after Order 66, whatever.
Maybe. Yeah.
So he's a year. So this is a year after that. Ahsoka is, hiding out, blah, blah, knows all that stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Because it was revealed, and we talked about it a little bit on the show, I'm sure. It was revealed at Celebration this past year. Filoni had all this material of Ahsoka. Mm-hmm. Storylines of her coming, how she got back to helping, and where she was. Mm-hmm. Why she wasn't in. No, granted, we know she walked away.
Yeah.
But why wasn't Rex in episode 3?
Yeah.
Right? So, again, this isn't revealing anything because I don't think I haven't come across it in the book at all, but Filoni already talked about this, how Anakin recruited her back to lead Rex and some clones to go after Maul on Mandalore. Mm-hmm. So, this prologue kind of has a little bit of that in it, but now the book is at the point where it's trying to fill in the gap between Order 66 and Rebels when we see her in Rebels. Obviously, it's a big gap, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
So I'm 1 year after. I don't know how. I don't know how if it's gonna skip time and jump around. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of questions I have about. Well, what about that year? And what about the story? I want actually the story of Anakin. How did he find her and get her back?
Yeah.
To do this, you know what I mean? To go after Maul. Mm-hmm. So I hope that happens. But anyway, it's fantastic. I really feel like I'm going to be doing this continually. Like once I get through this book, I thought about it. I'd probably go ahead and start doing going to New Dawn or something like that and getting the audiobook on that and starting to do that.
Jeez, I started reading New Dawn when it first came out, got like 50 or so pages into it, and then just got too busy. But right now I'm trying to read Aftermath and Bloodline at the same time. I'm about 100 pages into Aftermath, and yeah, it's just now kind of getting started.
Yeah.
but it's cool so far. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of new characters that they're introducing that and it's like
Snap Waxy. Did you get the snap?
Little Timon.
Yeah.
Little Snap is in there. He's pretty crafty. His mother's a big role. So it's a lot about the mother. It's a lot about these like 2-3 other characters, and so it's kind of bounced around wedges in there, and so it's all about these different guys and how they kind of cross paths and stumble upon this big empire plot. And then Bloodline, I'm about 50, 60 pages into that. That's pretty cool. It's pretty intimate with about Leia doing stuff. And what's cool about that, I keep taking pictures of some pages because I'll come across these little references to things like
yes, you sent it to me.
Bloodline referencing Saw Gerrera. I took a picture of that because I was like, oh, that's awesome. Or like taking a picture of these little things from the movies or other books.
Didn't you say something about how they explained her accent?
They did. Yeah, I think it's hilarious how I guess Story Group or somebody is trying to explain certain continuity errors or whatever from the movies. Like, cause I've seen Pablo do this, I think, a number of times on like Rebels Recon or something like that, like explains stuff like that. But in A New Hope, when Leia talks to Tarkin on the Death Star, she uses a British accent because that was the first day they filmed, and Carrie Fisher thought it was British, and then she was told that she wasn't British. So that was the only time we ever heard her speak in a British accent. So it was just a continuity error in the filmmaking. But they go and explain that, so there's a canon reason why she spoke that way, and it's referenced in Bloodline where Leia says that she spoke that way in a British accent. Well, we say it's British, but in Star Wars, there's no British. So Tarkin's accent to mock him. So Leia did that on the board of Death Star to mock Tarkin.
That's hilarious.
So it's like, that's great. I'll take that. That's I didn't need it, but I'll take it. I think it's pretty clever. That's great. I love reading that kind of stuff, and so I'm trying to get through these books as quickly as possible because I definitely want to read Ahsoka. I really want to get to Tarkin. That one's already out as well. It's been out, and then Life Debt is supposed to be really good, and Thrawn, man, when that comes out,
I know.
I'm stopping everything, and I'm reading in that.
Life Debt, I do want to get to that because that's Han and Chewie.
Yeah, and it's supposed to have some references. Like Maz is supposed to be in it.
Yeah, Maz. Yeah,
Catalyst, when that comes out next month, I'm definitely reading that. I'm getting that. I need to read it before Rogue One.
Before the movie. Correct. Yeah,
very excited.
So I would highly recommend, if you haven't done an audiobook, I would highly recommend doing that, especially if you're tight on time and you listen to iPods or something like that. Just it's so easy. It's just like listening to an audio podcast or something like that.
Corey did the audiobook for Lords of the Sith. He really liked it.
Yep.
He enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's another one.
I just don't know if I want to do audiobooks just because it's more convenient for me because I don't have much time, so driving is the only time I can do it.
Correct.
I just like reading them books. I just like getting into the
if I had the time, I would want to read them, but
I do like a little bit at night or something if I'm just if I'm working on a project and then it's like just taking a break, so I'll just read a little bit.
Yeah. But see, it's so hard for me to. For me, it's in a way like this. I have to commit to this, and like I got to do it every day from now on, just until it's done. Because if I let it go, I don't know. I feel like I have a good memory, but for some reason, that stuff I'll start forgetting some stuff.
Oh no, there's definitely books outside of Star Wars that I started to read. Like I'm 50 or so pages into it, and it's been months since I've read it again. So it's like, oh my gosh, I need to finish this book. Do I need to just restart it?
I know, right?
Or just pick up. I remember some of the story.
Yeah, it's tough.
There's definitely some books like that I am about to pick up again.
I mean, because there's even graphic novels or comics that I've started reading, and I put it down, and maybe a month or so later, I'm like, dang, I got to start over because I don't even know what hell happened.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a good way to. Because if you can listen and start imagining what they're saying, it's really cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's really the kind of the news until we get into. So let's talk before the big announcement. Not announcement, but I mean by the time people are hearing this, they already know the announcement.
Yeah, true.
But let's talk about Rebels. because we missed a couple episodes. With our last episode, we reviewed the season premiere. This, we're talking about 2 episodes here. The first being episode 2, which was
Fates of the Holocron.
Was it called
Something like that. Holocron Fate.
Holocrons of Fate?
Holocrons of Fate.
Hey, shoot, I was gonna bring it up, but the Holocrons of Fate.
Holocrons of Fate.
So, okay, I don't know what to say besides being floored. I was freaking floored.
Well, it's definitely that last like 5 minutes.
Correct.
Like the whole episode's all that's cool because same whereas Darth Maul is always
Yes.
awesome, huge fan. So it's pretty awesome and getting
Well,
more
just the fact, just the manipulation of what he did,
Yeah.
right? Making them go get the holocrons,
yes,
and bring it to him.
yeah, bringing Bendu back and
Yes.
and Kanan and Ezra working together, forgiving each other. Like great episode for their relationship
Absolutely.
building. But man, at the end when they connected the holocrons together,
Yeah, so totally never saw this coming because obviously Maul is doing it for a purpose.
Yeah.
He's got an agenda. And I know like you were thinking the whole time like, wait, what are they talking? Wait,
Yeah.
what are they talking about?
Yeah.
Who is that? So ultimately, who are they talking about?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Totally.
Maul saw Obi-Wan Kenobi on Tatooine.
And so did Ezra in a sense, right?
Well, we think he did. He definitely saw
I
twin
mean, he
sons.
doesn't know who that is.
I don't think he knows what Tatooine is.
No,
but he saw
I
twin
don't-
sons. He probably saw Obi-Wan, but didn't know who he was.
Correct.
Well, he might make the connection later. I don't know because he's seen what Obi-Wan looks like, younger version, Episode 3 version of Obi-Wan through the holocron, through the Jedi holocron at the very beginning of the show, season 1.
Correct. Yeah.
But I'm assuming he saw Obi-Wan now, where he's grayed out. He's got the gray hair, gray white beard hair, and looks probably a little different. Probably doesn't know what to make of it though. But yeah, Ezra's saying twin sons, and Obi-Wan's like, I see him. He's alive. And then like he's definitely going to Tatooine. He's got to be going straight to Tatooine to fight and kill Obi-Wan.
I know.
Like just go, follow him.
So that is the question.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a Maul Obi-Wan
if
rematch?
we saw it,
Not rematch even because they've already fought since
like
then. It's
round
like
3.
Yeah, pretty
Almost.
much.
Round 3, 4 because they fought a couple times in Clone Wars.
Yes.
But if it's gonna happen, I feel like it's gonna happen now because why would Maul wait around and go to Tatooine? Like he's definitely going to Tatooine to find Obi-Wan, unless it just takes him all to find him there. Because if we're gonna see it, either Ezra and Kanan follow them or whatever, or it'd be cool if this is literally like a one-shot episode with Maul and Obi-Wan.
Well, it wasn't in the next episode,
right.
but I mean, we're we mentioned it too. After we're on some thin ice here. Are we not?
No, with these characters, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's getting harder and harder to, I think, finding a nice, easy way to explain why they're not in the movies. These Rebels characters in the original movies, why they're not referenced. I mean, of course, because they weren't, conceived at all during that time when George Lucas wrote the movie. But now going back, how are you going to explain their presence, their lack of presence, their absence?
Right,
I'm looking for.
but there was a conception, I'm sure, under George, that there were no Jedis at this time.
No, well, because
Right?
you like the story group is very good at this. They cling to certain pieces of dialogue where you think Yoda says, "You are the last Jedi." Yoda knows of Kanan and Ezra and Ahsoka, so by the time Jedi happens, he's saying Luke is the last Jedi.
So they're not around.
Well,
Or he doesn't know they're around.
Yoda knows they're around though.
Actually, you're right. He does know they're
Although
around.
Ahsoka, technically not a Jedi, so that's fair game.
Fair game.
But Ezra and Kanan,
He was knighted.
yeah, and
He's just knighted.
Ezra. Who knows? Maybe he wasn't knighted, or he's dead, or a Sith. Who knows what happens to
He's
him?
Snoke.
He's Snoke. Yeah. Kanan, same thing. Dead, evil. Who knows?
He's Snoke.
He's Snoke.
I don't know.
So
But you're right. If he
it's
says,
so hard now.
when I die, the last of the Jedi will you be?
Yeah.
Correct. Ahsoka could still be alive. But you're right. Is Kanan? But the bottom line is there's no way, there's no explanation if they're not deceased why they aren't in the original trilogy.
Yeah, because before, like,
You know what
season
I mean?
one, season one, I was like, okay, based off what we saw with Ahsoka, either they could just go off and do their own thing. One or two of them could die. The rest of them, like, Sabine, Zeb, could easily think. Like, Zeb could be at this point, he could go back home to his home planet.
Yes.
Sabine could just go into the ranks of rebels, or she just is tired of it, so she goes and lives her life. Hera could probably be part of the rebellion as a pilot.
Yes.
She could be, with Lando during the Jedi
Totally.
indoor battle. Who knows? But yeah, Ezra and Kanan. This is the
Although
biggest
she's
one.
moved up the ranks.
She's moving up. So yeah, and so now season 3, it's harder. They're becoming too important to the overall saga.
Rebellion.
The
building of the rebellion.
They're talking about General Dodonna giving him, bombers and
Yes.
all this stuff, and Obi-Wan and Tatooine.
Have we seen Mothma? Did we see Mothma?
We haven't seen her in Rebels.
We have not seen her. Okay. But we have seen Bail.
Yeah, so Bale knows them. Who knows what the original characters will get from these movies, but I mean from the show.
They're obviously not in Rogue One
Maybe.
that we know
of. Yeah, that's and this.
But the bottom line is that it's hard to imagine that. I know episode 4 is dubbed, obviously the title, A New Hope, right? The New Hope is it not the whole scope of not the whole scope, but one of the main ideas of the original trilogy, right? Is the return of the Jedi.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So Luke, in this instance, what's happening right now, Luke isn't the start of that return. Because we were led to believe so far with the movies that he was the first remnant, the visual connection of a Jedi that they've seen since the Clone Wars. Right? Since they were branded as traitors, basically.
Yeah.
That Luke was because again, Obi-Wan and Yoda at the end of episode 3 was like, until the time is right in hiding, obviously they didn't tell it to Kanan. They didn't, but he did survive Order 66 and he turned into kind of a smuggler and an outlaw. But now as he's coming out and as he's becoming more involved in the rebellion, it's like, shouldn't they be rallying around this Jedi like they did with Luke? It's like that's where I'm like, okay, something has to happen to them.
Yeah.
Now, I got an interesting theory today, actually, from your brother.
Okay. He told me. I don't know if he told me this or not.
So I'm driving home, and we're talking because he said I just watched
He's
the last couple Rebel episodes, and he asked about. He's like, why are they gonna explain Kanan and Ezra? And Maul, even Maul. Now we're convinced that Obi-Wan's probably gonna finish the job officially, right? But here's the thing: he threw out something that was he threw it out as a joke.
Yeah.
But it actually makes a lot of sense. And I hate to say this because this is actually really bad. But the easiest explanation on...
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he told me.
Do you know that?
Yeah,
Did you hear
he
about
told me
this?
Yeah. He
Oh,
said this
okay.
today. Yeah.
Of where what happened to the Ghost Crew?
Yeah.
Go ahead and say it. Did he
That they're all in Alderaan?
Yes!
Yeah.
That is horrible to think.
I mean...
But think about it. If Bail Organa is in Rogue One,
Yeah.
and we know he's going to leave and go to Alderaan.
Yeah, exactly.
Does the Ghost Crew take him to Alderaan?
Yeah.
And they're waiting for the plans to get delivered.
Yeah, for the next step. Boom.
And what safer way can you travel than with a couple Jedis? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
That would be the best thing at the end of that movie.
End of what? Rogue One? If he gets on the Ghost?
If it's like, it's like I have my security detail cut, and you just see him from a distance get on or whatever, and you see like a long shot. Yeah,
and you see Zeb.
You see all of them. There.
I know.
Just hop on, go walk up the ramp. Nothing.
I would lose everything.
Yeah, I would. I wonder how many other people in the audience would know and be like, "Oh my god!"
I think a lot of people would. I think a lot of people would with the traction that Rebels is getting.
The potential this movie has.
Totally. Oh my god. Totally. That alone, like that theory alone, I'm thinking either because somehow they either have to leave or they have to die.
Yeah.
And my belief, and I think it's yours too, that the characters in Rogue One probably going to see probably going to meet their fate against Vader, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But how do you explain the Ghost Crew? And it's like,
unless that's also hard because if the Ghost Crew's alive and still
at that point
still in the mix of all things rebellion, then they should be in Rogue One. Why wouldn't you bring in
unless
Jedi?
There's plans in Rebels that they meet a different fate. Possibly some of them from Thrawn.
Yeah.
From Vader coming back if he does. But that's the thing too, is what about Thrawn?
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Thrawn did kill off one of the Ghost Crew this season. I think these Filoni and these guys aren't afraid to do that.
No, I don't.
At least to like Sabine or Zeb.
Yeah, and
Hera,
I gotta believe
Hera?
I gotta believe that they know the ending already.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, just to think like Hera is Kanan's crutch in a lot of ways. So like getting rid of her, like what would that do to Kanan?
Correct.
He's already weakened. So like really bring him down to see what he can do, what he will do. So the Rogue One crew, I think very much can meet their fate at the end. All of them. I mean, it's a crappy way. It's just kill them all in the end. That's kind of what we thought would happen to Ahsoka. I was like, she's got to die. Everybody's got to die because they're not in the movies. We were proven wrong with Ahsoka. I think we can be proven wrong again with Rogue One, with the Rebels crew. But the Rogue One crew, I very much think that they could bite the dust.
I think they.
I mean, as soon as they give off the plans to Leia, or to Leia, or whomever, Captain Antilles, whatever.
They transmit them to her. Yeah.
And then boom, they're just blasted out of the sky or something like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think it's inevitable.
Where Jen's kind of those shots in the trailer where she's like looks like she's giving a speech. I don't know. She's like, "May the Force be with us," or she says, "Are y'all with me?" or something like that. That could be right before it happens. Mm-hmm. Like they think they're about to win, or they realize something's about to happen. They're like, "Are we all in this together? We're going down together."
It's possible.
That would be a very tragic, heavy ending.
There's no way that this ends like. I just don't see how this ends happy.
Optimistic, yeah. I mean, they do succeed
in a sense,
but as soon as they successfully completed the mission, they're
running from their
useless.
life.
Yeah, they don't serve a purpose to the story anymore. So
yeah, but by that point, Vader's on the mission.
That's why I really do think that Vader's just cleanup in this movie.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we see him towards the end. To be honest,
I think we'll see him a little bit throughout.
Really?
I think we'll have to. I think there'll be, because the whole thing is Krennic is trying to get around Vader and go straight to the Emperor, be in his good graces. So I think there'll be moments where he'll be with Vader, or at least communicating to Vader, and there'll be just kind of like a jealousy with Krennic, like, I hate that guy. It's like I want him to just leave me alone. He's preventing me from doing my job, kind of a thing. And then he's failing to get rid of Jyn Erso, and so Vader just comes in, kill you, you're dead, you're useless to the Empire, get out of here, you're dead, and I'm going to take over. I'm killing these guys, and I'm going to follow them to Leia. So that's kind of my theory here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll just briefly talk about the second episode the third episode, the second episode since we were off. But surprisingly,
the Antilles
Extraction, surprising introduction to a very well-known character.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was surprised that they actually threw in Hobby as well.
Hobby. Good old Hobby.
Because he said it, and I was like, wait a minute, did he say Hobby? I rewound it, and I'm like,
yeah.
oh my God, it's Hobby.
Yeah.
What do you have, 2 lines or 1 line? Yeah, 1 line.
I know at least the one where he's like, was it
In
2
Empire.
fighters against a Star Destroyer?
Yeah, correct.
There's one thing is the complaint.
That's Hobby. If everybody doesn't know, that's Hobby
from
in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
But we all know him too from the card game. He's got an
He's a pilot.
interesting card. He's a very well-known card on there. So anyway, what'd you think of?
It was good. It was fun. I liked it a lot. I love Wedge.
Yeah,
Glad we're getting some canon stories with him. I think he needs to be in it more, in the show more, because he's such a big part of the rebellion. So I think I would like to see him a few more times in this season. It'd be great.
yeah.
It was cool.
Now I'm not versed in it. Maybe you are, or maybe anybody listening could help us out. But I think, if I remember correctly, that both Hobby and Wedge did defect from the Empire in the expanding universe.
Yeah.
But not at the same time like this.
No, yeah, never the books, but that's always what that's what I heard too. Yeah, that
I thought they were it was talked about in the X-Wing series. I thought that they kind of did. They talked about backstories about.
I imagine it was there. Yeah,
yeah, how they defected, but not at the same time, and so they did take that part from the expanding universe of them being defecting, but yeah, interesting to. It's really neat to see Sabine, go undercover like that and get them out. And yeah, I thought it was a really good episode.
Still no Thrawn. Not doing anything.
Yeah, next episode is is Thrawn running right into Hera. So I think Hera's father's back.
Cham, yeah.
Cham.
They showed a clip
Syndulla
on Rebels Recon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
So
Cham's pretty big too. This gap between 3 and 4 with Corey says he's in Lords of the Sith.
Who is
Cham
Syndulla?
He is in Lords of the Sith, and Little Hera is featured a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. So Cham's getting some time.
Okay,
which
cool.
is nice. Cool character.
Very cool. I highly recommend seeing as we get into. Well, I'm actually shifting to the wrong gear. Well, I'm shifting to the right gear, but I was talking about making sure everybody sees the Star Wars show that just came out today. This is Wednesday that we're recording this, but big announcement on there.
Yes, from Gareth Edwards himself.
That's right. So, those of you who obviously have seen it already. The brand new theatrical poster of Rogue One is out. It's just freaking phenomenal. It's in line with
they've broken from the traditional Star Wars poster
a little bit,
like the order how they place people, and it's not that kind of Drew Struzan kind of pastel, whatever how he did it, that art,
almost like it's painted on,
which that's fine. I mean, if you want to kind of reserve that for the saga films, if that's what they're doing, that's fine.
But Force Awakens,
I think I saw one.
Yeah, was it painted?
I think I saw one. Yeah, where it was painted.
Yeah,
kind of thing. But yeah, this new poster for Rogue One is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. It features all the main characters, even Vader a little bit. But yeah, Vader, he's just faded onto the Death Star in the back.
Yep.
And there's like some texture on Jyn Erso's face, which we're guessing is the Death Star plans.
Looks like the plans.
Yeah,
it's on her outfit too. Yeah,
it's like all over. So that looks cool. I mean, I saw somebody wrote down like a comment on one of the pages where I saw the poster was like, I was like, oh my gosh, what if Jyn Erso is the Death Star plans? I guess it's like, I don't know, like she she memorizes it, so like way she can steal is that she memorized. I don't know. It was just like, that's interesting theory. I don't think
not buying that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's carrying it on Scarif, that little hard drive looking thing that she's running with. But that's pretty funny little comment. caught on. Good poster though.
Awesome poster. Obviously, notables that are missing are her father still. No other Imperial besides one little Krennic shot
yeah,
there. I mean, it's
tucked in the back.
one thing I was surprised to see is no
Stormtroopers.
Death Troopers.
No Death Troopers. No, yeah, you get the Stormtroopers in the ocean.
Yes,
TIE Strikers, ACTs. You get the U-wing.
yes.
So it's
X-wings, obviously.
And some regular TIE fighters. I think are on there too.
Yes. So
Star.
really cool. Obviously, the Death Star.
Saw
Real big.
Gerrera with hair.
Yes.
Still confused about that.
I know.
'Cause I got the pop figure of Saw Gerrera. He has no hair. He's bald.
He is bald on there?
Bald. Yes. Very confused.
Wow, that is confusing.
Mixed messages. Unless they made that, they had that
So it
design.
has to be some time jump.
Unless there has to be. Because I don't know why they wouldn't be like, okay, even if that was like pre-reshoot, if that is a whole reshoot, I don't know. But like,
Was he bald? He was bald in Clone Wars. Was he bald in Clone Wars?
No, I think it's short.
He had a little bit of hair, yeah.
Short hair, goatee.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway, I'm confused, but we'll see when the movie comes out. If he just shaves his head or lets it grow out, maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. So obviously, and then the big announcement, as everybody's by now you've probably seen it. We're gonna do a review episode of it, but the latest trailer,
Yes,
for Rogue One is out.
indeed. Tomorrow morning, Thursday
Tomorrow-
morning.
I know I can't even.
Oh my gosh,
contain
man.
myself.
I was thinking tonight, do I maybe go ahead and tonight before I go to sleep, set up like a tripod with my camera, like a reaction video thing. So tomorrow morning, in case as I'm getting ready for work, it does come on like on Good Morning America.
Well, no, I see. I think it's just going to be released online.
Okay,
I
hope so.
because I think they would have said
Good Morning America.
on Good Morning America.
True. So StarWars.com.
I think really it's just going to be on Star Wars.com. Now they are doing Star Wars show wanted
Their reaction
submissions.
videos. Yeah, that's when we
So
give
you
me
probably
the
should
idea.
do that.
So I might
I might do it too. I might just do it too.
be here early in the morning and be like, oh, man, wake me up. I'm gonna be freaking out.
But I gotta think it's got to be later in our time because it's got to. I think
It's Eastern. I've read 7 to 9 in the morning Eastern time.
That's what I'm saying. So I think it might be more on the 9 time.
Oh, that's what
But-
you're saying, yeah.
So it's more 6 a.m. to
Yeah.
on the West Coast. But so maybe around the time we're getting to
Got
work,
into work. Quickly get to my computer,
Man.
fire it up.
that's gonna be. I'm probably gonna watch it 50 times
I
tomorrow.
won't be able to focus tomorrow. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
no.
man. I'm sorry. It's gonna be hard to focus.
Well, it's a light day tomorrow,
Yeah.
I think, in a way.
I mean, all the guys we'll all be talking about it.
I know.
Everybody's gonna be talking about it.
Yeah, we should probably just go to lunch tomorrow and just.
We'll put it on
spend a
our
couple
TVs
hours.
in the hallway.
Yeah, we definitely should just fire it up in the conference room and just let it repeat over and over again. So anyway, yeah, go check out the trailer. Come back here. Our next episode will be our full review. We'll break it down and talk about the trailer because I'm pretty sure my prediction on it. I don't know if you have one, Case. My prediction on it is we're just going to see a lot more Imperial involvement in this trailer because that's the one thing we have. I mean, there's a lot of things we have not gotten, but with the teaser, with the first trailer, it's all been about the Rebels and Jyn Erso. There's nothing on Krennic.
Yeah.
We haven't even heard him say anything yet.
That's my biggest prediction. Yeah, is we will get dialogue from Krennic.
Absolutely. I think we got to get dialogue from her father a little bit.
Yeah.
I still don't. And honestly, I kind of hope we don't see much Vader. I hope they save Vader. I really do hope they save Vader.
If anything, I think we'll get Vader, but at least I think we'll get the same shot that they showed before.
See, I think they're going to, I bet you, again, this is a prediction. I bet you they're going to show him like igniting his saber or something like that.
In the trailer?
Yes. Just to get people just going crazy.
I mean, that'll take the
That
focus.
would, but that would, tell me that wouldn't
Oh,
like
that would be
the
nuts.
talk.
Even if you hear the sound.
Darth Vader will be trending tomorrow, I promise. But I don't want. I just hope I don't see him like force choking anybody or striking. I just don't want to see that.
See, I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you wanna see
I don't know if I
you
want to
think-
see it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little action.
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised, but
How secretive they've been at this movie. I just don't think that they're going to be doing that.
maybe that'd be such a.
If they do one shot, it'll just be
It
him.
depends on how much of Vader we're getting in the movie. Because if we are getting just a little bit of Vader in the movie, like one awesome moment, I don't think they'll show that in the trailer.
We got to get more than that, don't you think, though?
Of Vader in the film.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be throughout a little bit. I think we will have one cool, crazy moment at the end. Of course, he's got to force choke somebody. That's his MO. He's got to force choke a couple people at least.
Yes.
No, I definitely think in this trailer we'll get Krennic talking because I just want to hear him say something. It's like Finn, in the first few trailers of Force Awakens.
Yeah,
he didn't say
right?
anything.
Yeah.
He just looked scared the whole time. So we'll get something of Krennic. I think it'll be very consistent with the other trailers, as in like, which were surprisingly give some plot, where it's like they have Jen in the hangar giving her mission, but we actually will get that part that kind of snuck in a short trailer where we're talking about we got a transmission from your father. Like they released that one little short spot where they mentioned that.
right.
So I think that will be incorporated into this. A transmission from your father. We'll get a few shots of her father from that flashback scene or whatever that is of him on that green area with that hill. Maybe see some young Jenna or so too. That's just a little bit of that sequence, and then just a lot of fighting, probably. Introducing each character,
yeah.
and just a lot of fighting. Krennic and some Vader. I think we'll get, definitely some Vader at the end.
Well, we will find out. We will find out
And
very
hopefully
soon.
more Saw Gerrera as well. I don't know if he'll have hair or not. That's the one thing I can't predict because who knows? Maybe he'll have some hair, a little
Maybe.
bit, half hair. That's weird.
I'm with you. I don't know how they're going to explain that one. Okay, let's go through our little
Cannons.
profile stuff
Okay.
here, and then we'll wrap it up.
A little short for one for me. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. For me, I was just thinking too, like we're going, through this book, Ultimate Star Wars, that I'm profiling from. It's I'm going chronological in each of these categories. You have characters and creatures, you have locations, technology, and vehicles, and that's it. Right? Those weapons. Yeah, technologies with the weapons, I think. So it's all chronological. And we're still in episode 1 stuff right now, so I apologize, guys, if you hate the prequels, but this is it. Today, talk about Boss Nass. Boss Nass. Appearances in episode 1 and 3, at the very end of 3. Species Gungan, although he's the weirdest looking Gungan. I don't think I've ever seen another Gungan in the movies that look like him. Maybe that's what they look like when they're really old. Who knows? And a little overweight. Homeworld Naboo. Affiliation Gungan Rep Council. Gungan Grand Army. Very short paragraph because all we know is basically all we're presented in episode 1. He's in nothing else outside of 1 and 3 that we can get information from. So yeah, ruler of Otogunga. Boss Nass chairs a rep council. I thought that might have been an abbreviation, but it sounds like it's just called rep. So he's responsible for governing Naboo's Gungan inhabitants. Talked about him not liking the humans. Miso no liking the Naboo. The Naboo humans, but then he turns around and starts liking them at the end as soon as Padme gives a cool little speech about how they are the same and they need each other to defeat the Trade Federation. So that's Boss Nass. And apparently it doesn't say here, but I'm just going to add in this paragraph that I guess whenever he agrees or confirms something, he shakes his head and makes a weird sound and spit comes out. Because he did that twice in episode 1 when he had to say yes to something. It was weird. I don't know. Very gross. Boss Nass. Miso no thank you like the Naboo. That's it. Boss Nass.
Boss Nass.
Had his toy. I think I still have his toy. Pretty cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it's all right.
In lieu of in my book here, absolutely everything you need to know. I just in lieu of Ahsoka Tano, I wanted to kind of go over a couple of clone facts here. real quick, how many clone troopers were at the Battle of Geonosis at the beginning of the Clone Wars? Wild guess.
500,000.
Not that much. 192,000.
So
That's a lot of clones.
Because I think I remember them spinning off at 500,000. I think they were saying like there's 500,000 along the way.
With a million more along the way. I thought she said a million,
Oh, a million more. Okay. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, along the way. And then, of course, you know this, but just it's the strange but true part. You know this Count Dooku secretly orders the Kamonians to put computer chips in the brains of every clone trooper. Now, here's the thing, kind of a little bit you may not know, but obviously you know that makes them obey Order 66. Mm-hmm. But he puts them in there, which makes them obey Palpatine without question. So it's not just the Order 66. It's whatever he says, they do. Pretty crazy.
I did not know that.
Yep. Pretty awesome. That means a lot of little stuff, but of course you know this too, but you might not be clear unless you watch the Clone Wars, but who asked for this huge army to be made? The answer is Sifo Dyas, a Jedi Council member who senses a looming galactic war and tasks the Kamonians to create a clone army for the Republic. When the Sith learn of this, they murder Sifo Dyas so they can control the clone's creation. So because there was questions of whether or not, there was always questions and rumors whether or not Sifo Dyas was actually in league with the Sith, by doing this, because he didn't, or not, I'm sorry, not really the Sith, but the Separatists in a sense, right? But people, again, may not know Sifo Dyas, according to that and what we know about him, he has precognition ability. So he saw the war, and that's why he issued the clones to be created so that it could help the Republic. But yes, as soon as Dooku or Palpatine took wind of it, they killed him, which was a very interesting storyline we got of him in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I think it was the Lost Missions, right? Where they found his lightsaber, and you find out how he was being held. He was still alive. He was held captive. That's a very cool storyline in that.
There's a theory out there that Sifo Dyas is Snoke.
Really? Wait, didn't he die in the Clone Wars? He didn't die?
No, yeah, I mean he died.
Technically
He's
dies,
dead.
yeah.
But they're saying, what if he didn't die? Could Dooku actually still kept him alive?
Are we really at that point still where we're trying to find a different identity for Snoke?
People,
just Snoke.
People are still trying to think of that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
Where are you at?
I
Do you think he could be somebody we already know?
I think he still could be. I think he's either Plagueis or he's an original character.
Oh, you think he's if he's anybody, you think he's Plagueis?
I think he still could be Plagueis.
Because I
don't think he's a clone.
No, but right now I'm leaning a little bit towards him being Ezra.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, the more Ezra is flirting with the dark side like this, because you remember now, I'll say this briefly because I don't want to take too much more time, but I told you I went back and listened to our very first episode.
Yeah.
This was March of 2013 when, it's been several months after the announcement of the buyout, and then the announcement of episode 7, blah, 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 and there were rumors starting to come out that episode 7 was going to feature a disciple of Emperor Palpatine, of Darth Sidious. Obviously, we got Snoke, which I do believe in the end he's Sith. So technically, he is possibly a disciple of.
Yeah.
Can it be Ezra?
Yeah, I think that
because Ezra's going down that road.
I forgot we talked about that as a possibility. Because remember, also there were rumors going around that like Force Awakens was going to basically. Some people put it like connect Rebels very closely, like it was going to oversee the trilogy, and like Rebels and like Force Awakens were going to be very heavily connected. I don't know, but
yes.
That's pretty cool.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it's that.
That's true. Ezra is,
then
is
I would-
a viable candidate.
But I wouldn't be surprised if it's
Just
the original character.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, I'm cool with that.
Yep. All right, guys. Again, thanks for listening, and check us out on our next episode where we fully review the brand new last and recent trailer for Rogue One. And then we'll, of course, be back next week with all the news up here in the Star Wars world. Star Wars universe, not world, universe.
Yes.
So go ahead and check us out, InsideTheForce.com. All the usual social medias. And, of course, you can hear us on Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, and TuneIn Radio. Thanks for all those mediums. Real quick, again, I keep forgetting. We're going to do a little giveaway. I've got a couple of figures here I want to give away, which are the Disney Store exclusive Elite Series diecast figures. We'll go ahead and post this on. I'll post this on Facebook too. I got the Force Awakens characters of R2D2 and C-3PO. C-3PO complete with his red arm, so you know it's the Force Awakens versions. But I got those diecast figures here. If you want these figures, I mean, I'm telling you, absolutely for free. I'm even paying for the shipping. If you want these things, we'll tweet this out. We'll throw it up on Facebook. All you got to do is share this episode. Right? Is that what we're saying?
Share. We tweet the episode. You can like the tweet.
Correct.
You can retweet the tweet.
Yes.
Even if you want to reply to the tweet.
Or you could share and like the Facebook post.
Yeah, and like the Facebook page in general.
Correct.
You know,
And the big one, which will give you more entries, is give us some comments on iTunes,
yeah,
Stitcher Radio, or TuneIn Radio.
yeah. You can give us a rating.
Give us a
on
rating.
iTunes and a review.
Comment.
And you can do both. You can do one or the other.
I'm telling you, the
Comments.
more you do, the more
Yeah.
entries you get into.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll do. I'll do a drawing probably next week, and then get these out to you. So, if you want these figures, do the deeds. Thanks, everybody, for Casey Cooley.
Once a secret is known, it cannot be unknown.
Very good.
Love it.
Yeah,
The Bendu.
it's like a Yoda comment.
It is
almost,
very
in a
much
sense.
Yoda.
Yeah,
I'm the one in the middle. The Bendu.
yeah. Once that secret is known, it can't be unknown.
Yeah.
That's probably.
Well, but Yoda said,
common
you must
sense.
unlearn what
What
you
you
have
have
learned.
learned.
These guys might not have known. They might not have got along.
That's true. That's true.
You can't unknow it, but you must unlearn it. That's my,
Yeah.
that's my sitcom.
That's interesting. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.